What's going on, guys? Today on this Shoky third-party Transformers review, we're going to be taking a look at something, well, pretty well new from NewAge Toys, and it is their Legendary Heroes, number 19 and 20. That's Hogan and William BONNEY, otherwise known as a G1 Brawn and Outback. Now, I'm not super familiar with Outback, but looking him up, he's a really weird-looking version, not necessarily related to Brawn, but in more recent years, he's been basically remolds. And that's what it comes down to now. So, remold of a different character with a very similar alt mode. But of course, they're going with the Legendary Hero style box here with all the grid lines and stuff like that. Mini warrior! And then you come over here, you got Legendary Heroes, Hogan and William BONNEY. You have Brawn there, you come to the top, you got that image, and you come to this side, and you got that image come to the bottom. Looks like that. And then you come to the back, and you see this going on here. Now, I did pick this up from BBTS, I believe. Did I? Now I'm questioning it. I think I got it the other day. I already forgot. So I got it from BBTS. Of course, they get this. And this is the not-so-great moment where I believe Brawn is about to die. I could be wrong. Then you got the NewAge logo there. Ages 15 plus. Hey, I'm right in the middle of that. And box art is by a thing I can't see, but it's like a little, dove thing. 2019, made in China. So, let's go ahead and get these little tiny truck boys out here and see how cool and tiny they are. Alright, so here we have the boys in their vehicle modes. And by the way, of course, if you want to see how to get them into vehicle mode, watch the Taro video that'll be coming out later today, or it'll be linked in the tab or the eye thingy. Go check that out if you want to actually see how to transform them back, because they usually only go the one way. Now, of course, I have added Autobot logos in the general location that they usually indicate they are, going by G1 standards. Usually he's got his right there on the hood, and his seem to be here on the back windows. But they are clearly little, almost like penny racer versions of an off-road vehicle, like very Jeep-like, obviously. And there is a difference. Obviously, they have different colors. He's more of a khaki. He's the very green color, and of course they went with green, blue windshields here, much like they do with a lot of their figures. And then black on this guy, and then they even have little gas tanks on the back that are removable and stuff, and they have totally visible hand syndrome there, but that does come in handy to some degree. The wheels do roll, although on this glass surface, they ain't going to do a whole lot. But what's cool is they pin the one to the roof the same way they do to the actual wheels, and that actually makes it pretty neat for detail sake. So they didn't mold on a wheel, they pinned it on, just like it's another one. It even rolls. That's sweet. You never see that. They also have totally visible head syndrome underneath. It just kind of is what it is. Now, of course, there is a Ninja Turtles variant of this where you get like a 4-pack of them, all 4 turtles molded like this. They have different heads. They come with the turtles' weapons and stuff like that, which is pretty cool. Now, the only other visible difference here is the front bumper situation, which is totally different between the two. You can see this bumper plate under here, which is part of the head mold, is totally different. So he gets a little winch, he gets a hole. Now, there's a reason for that hole, because he does come with, ta-da, some accessories. Now, they both come with these accessories, though only Brawn can make use of most of them. So the drill here, these are die-cast, by the way, so die-cast chromey parts. He does have a nice little drill that plugs in right here. Now, I did an out-the-box review of this, and I could not figure out where that was. For some reason, I completely missed it until later that day, but he does have this cool drill form. But it sucks because he comes with the same accessories, but can't make use of that drill. Now, the other two are for robot modes. We're not going to look at those. However, they're normal vehicle weapons, regular weapons, such as this really big black molded blaster, which looks really nice. Actually, very, looks a little bit like a combination of Megatron and Prime's guns. You can make use of that and plug it in on the roof, which looks neato, if I'm honest. And then even Brawn's tiny little pistol can do that. So there's no other weapon storage except for that, even though they have this huge gap underneath. And then technically speaking, the gas tanks on the back, little jerry cans, are actually weapon storage in and of themselves. So real quick, let's do comparison in car mode. Let's get all that glare. And here he is with Ironhide, which was a pain in the butt to transform. It's been a little while. And then some Cosmos. I'm going with some of the smaller bots, the smaller vehicle modes, because since technically he's a mini bot, kind of like they are. Ironhide just a little bit bigger. And then we have the very first one, which is Bumblebee, who is also more a penny racer than a real vehicle, and the only good size comparison to these guys. But I figured, like, this is a good representation. Like, this is supposed to be almost like, maybe not even a Jeep, maybe more of a, oh, what is that? Like a, well, it was called a Geo Tracker, but an Isuzu, I forgot what it is, Sidekick, I believe. Mitsubishi also had one. They're very small, little car thingies. So, but definitely not a high-rise thing, but still kind of a little thing. Could also be something like a Land Rover, like an old Disco or something like that. Who knows? But either way, let's get out these other cars. And by the way, I think Bumblebee is the only one who still doesn't have real wheels. You know, they're all just molded in solid things. It would be cool if they ever gave us an updated version of that mold with real wheels. Especially considering they can just pin them on like this and keep that same look. So let's go ahead and get these guys transformed up. Now they do have the same exact transformation, so I will probably skip his. Like, I'll just do the thing. Some nice movie magic, but it's fairly simple but very nice transformation. So first and foremost, you want to remove the jerry can off the back. It is just plugged in there, and you can see it's already doing its thing. So I'm just going to transform it real quick. I'm just going to move back out of frame. And then I'm going to come to the front and just kind of wiggle here. And you can see that untabs there. That untabs there. And then you come to the back and you want to lift up the passenger side. You see it notches around that big old tabby tab right there. So just be careful. I think that is all painted as well. So just be warned. A lot of this guy has paint. You know, the really nice metallic paint and stuff like that looks good. So you just want to fold these together. Just tab that like that. Go ahead and flip this little guy up like that. That's going to be his toes. Do the same thing on this side. Tab that together. Flip that up. And do that number. And then you want to straighten this up. Rotate here to where now it's centered. Then we'll do the same thing on this side. Rotate, rotate. And then you can drop the legs down. Now, mind you, they're not facing the right direction, so you want to rotate that whole thing like so. That one's actually right. So basically you get like a Gerwalk version, if you're keen on that. Now is the most uncomfortable part, and we need to unplug the area with the hands from this. And it's not easy. It's the only time that a clearance issue comes around. You can also sort of unpeg all of this and make it a little bit easier. So you see it lifted up there off of that. That might make it easier to finagle. Yeah, it does. So just kind of want to get a thumb in there or a spudger or whatever it is you're going to use to just pop the little guy down like that. And then that will give you enough room to go ahead and pick up the whole cab section here. There's a big, like double, almost triple hinge. Yeah, triple hinge. One there, one there, one there. And then you fold that little guy in there. Now you go ahead and bring the arms out from the sides, like so. And you see you got the exposed ball joint there. Go ahead and turn that forward. Go ahead and straighten out the elbow. Flip out the hand. Turn, flip down, flip out. And so now we've got him at this level. You want to fold these side pieces in. Fold this section up, and you'll see this big yellow tab is going to plug into there, but not just yet. Want to rotate at the hips, and then you got that tab plugs into there. Straighten out your legs. Go ahead and fold this down on the hinge, and you got this double tab here that will go right into that slot there. And then comes the whole finagling of everybody. Basically, remember like that. You saw it just sort of fall into place there. And then, there we go. There's Brawny Boy. If you straighten up the arms. In his fantastic little grumpy robot mode. And then, there's Outback. Like I said, they have the exact same transformation. It just comes down to the details on how they appear. And as you can see, they're very different. Their chest molds are very different. They only have some very basic similarities, just pretty much right across here. And then that whole chest section is very different. The head mold is super different. He's got his very big, pouty, grumpy face and juggernaut head, and he's got a more succinct visor and things like that. Not to mention the color scheme. This frees up a lot more brown, which looks neat, and he brings out a bunch of yellow. Now, I am far more familiar with Brawn than Outback, so, I mean, he's the reason I got the set, because he's cool, and I like him, and he's generally a little bit grumpy. I assume that we'll also get a version of this remolded into a Gears, because he's also a tiny little truck with a very similar transformation and appearance, so expect a little red and blue truck boy sometime. But as you can see, you know, the truck makes up most of the back of their body, but I love the tires in the back of the legs. I think that's fantastic. Really reminds me of what Flame Toys does to hide things, and I find that fantastic. For articulation, I'll show it off on him, just because we looked at Brawn for the most part. Head does rotate the entire thing, including the front grille is the head there. And do have ball jointed arms, but with the swivel as well, so he can do all the way around. Just be careful of the wing mirrors there. Straight out, no problem. Ball joint mounted. Elbow does the thing. Wrist only really goes inward, so you just kind of need to be careful with that, so to speak. The hips, oops, hello. You do get the rotation at the waist, which we saw during transformation. You can kick pretty far forward. This bit does not move. The skirt, so to speak, doesn't go anywhere, but you can free up the hips to get them to like sit down, which is fine. I think I need to adjust the camera so slightly here. Yeah, there we go. And then, of course, you can do perfect Jean-Claude, perfect splits, of course, a good chorus line with a deep knee bend of 90 degrees, which gives him the ability to kick his own little square butt. And the thigh rotation is there, but it's also knee rotation, so be careful. And it does have the signature NewAge ridiculous ankle joint. I mean, can literally turn in on itself, so you can, if this wasn't like a smooth surface, you could probably stand a really nice wide split. So that's pretty neat, not gonna lie. I digs it a lot. Now, as for their weapons, we do get the big old gun again, which he does hold ever so nicely. You do get the jerry can gun, which is really silly, but I appreciate that they gave it to us, because it wouldn't have anywhere to go in bot mode. Like, it wouldn't, because of where it plugs in, you'd like, what am I supposed to do with this? So that's cool, though I do wish there was like just a spot to plug it in where you didn't have to have him hold it or, you know, store extra weapons. And then for Brawn Boy, we already saw his tiny pistol, which is fine, he's good. Though I keep knocking over one or the other, which I find funny. I wish there was a way that the hands stayed in place a bit better. That is a little silly, but you know, the way they got it worked, I mean, they got to do the thing. And he has a jerry can gun as well, all color coded and whatnot, which is handy dandy. As for the extra weapons that we saw earlier, the drill doesn't have an effect here, but you do have the, oh, I can't hold it, it's so small, it's slick. You got the little pizza cutter, and I believe the way you make use of these is by folding in the hand and just plugging it in. Not gonna lie, that's actually kind of smart. And then you also have the grippy claws, which I don't understand the point of that, considering you have to put his hand away to make use of it. Also, if you plug it in too far, it pushes the hand out, so just be wary of that. So he's got a cool grippy claw, which is kind of intimidating if I'm honest. But I do like this. And by the way, I did add the Autobot sticker there. These are just repro-label universals. They're not specifically made for these guys, though I'm sure they will have them at some point in time. And he does have the same extra weapons and stuff like that, so you can just make use of those as you want. You could probably put the drill in her hand, but it'll look funny because it'll be offset. Let's see. I didn't anticipate using this, but we'll see. Should work. Yeah, okay, so the drill totally works as well. Just feels funny. Okay, so once again, we'll bring in the other little bots. So we have Cosmos. You can see roughly the same size, but of course he's bulkier. We have B, who's a little bit shorter. We'll bring in Ironhide. So if you want to say he's more like a deluxe, sort of. If you want to start classifying different sizes of legends. And then just for the hell of teasing, here's a Grimlock. So you can really get a good scale sense. Oh, and yeah, you're going to want to stick around for that review. So, ultimately, yeah, they fit right in. And I'm going to somehow have to find a way to literally fit them in my Legends display. I mean, they're small. I just got to figure out what to do with them. I also really need to get the Insecticons and stuff like that. I'll probably pick those up pretty soon. And, you know, the one thing about it is, like, this set is fairly affordable. I think it's like $35 for both. That's not bad, because I think Bumblebee on his own was like 22 to 25. So, but he was also their flagship. He's like, okay, we've got to do something new here. And then, you know, like, I think he's 25 or something like that, but he's pretty bulky. So to get both of these for a decent price is good. And then, like, Ironhide is 35 on his own. Stuff like that. The Seekers that come with way more stuff, they're more expensive. These guys are tiny. They don't come with a lot, and they're not massively overly engineered, but they're super functional for what they are. The details are all there. The quality is fantastic. Some of the tolerances are a little bit tough, like just trying to get those arms out from bot mode, or rather from alt mode. But the fact they come with good accessories, things like that. Come on, autofocus. There we go. I dig it. I dig them a lot. The turtle set is pretty sweet. I don't need that, but I would definitely suggest it if you want a silly little version of them that they transform into pizza delivery vehicles. If that's on you, go for it. But like I said, I have a feeling we will get a Gears in this mold later. They already are redoing them in their translucent, because that's what they do. They're like normal, then translucent. Then if there's a shattered glass version, they do that as well. So, but I would definitely suggest it in your collection, and you don't feel like getting like an IDW representation or things like that. So, you know, NewAge is what I do, so I'm going to stick with this particular set. You guys give me a big old thumbs up if you like these guys. Go check out the rest of the NewAge playlist if you haven't seen those yet. And of course, I'll catch you on the next one. And remember, as always, keep on nerding.